Hi, welcome to Back to School Night here at Woodson. We're doing it virtually this year, which I have to admit I really enjoy. So I'm Andy Austin, and I team teach with Amy Vazquez. We team teach periods 5th and 8th. Anytime you have a question or concern, please email both of us. First period, I teach by myself. Mrs. Vazquez is currently out on medical leave, but she'll be joining us here shortly. I really miss her. It's like missing my right arm because I'm used to her being here all of the time. We've been teaming now for 7 or 8 years, so it's hard being without her. Between the two of us, we have over 50 years of experience teaching geometry. We are both past year 25 of our teaching careers, and we'll just leave that hanging there because we're not going to admit how old we are. Geometry is a bit of a passion for us. We enjoy it, and we enjoy teaching our freshmen and sophomores. So in this class, students are going to be applying their knowledge of Algebra 1 in almost every problem they do. Algebra 1 knowledge is a little bit weak this year, so you can expect to see quite a bit of Algebra 1 practice coming home over the course of the year as we try to refresh students' memories, fill in for skills maybe they didn't master last year, and keep them moving through the geometry curriculum. The geometry curriculum includes the language of geometry, logic, parallel lines, and angle relationships. 4 units of triangles. I get very tired of triangles by the time we're done. A brief introduction to trigonometry, polygons, circles, solids, transformations, and constructions. So it is a jam-packed year. Geometry is an SOL level course, and the majority of our class will be taking the SOL in May. So attendance is taken as we check off homework each day. We walk around the room, we check off whether or not their homework is completed, and when we're done with that, we do pause and say, so I'm missing Allison Austin and Amy Vazquez, am I right? Just to make sure nobody slid in late or anything. When students are absent, we expect them to check their unit assignment sheet. They have a physical copy on colored paper, and there's also a copy of it posted on Schoology. It's the first item posted in every unit. Within Schoology, we have a folder for every day, and that's got the warm-up, a video of the lesson, the classwork, and the homework. So they can take part in class through Schoology. If they miss an assessment, we want them to email us to set up a time to make it up. I'm usually here around 7 o'clock in the morning. Students can stay after school. They can come during learning seminar, but keep in mind, I have 26 students in learning seminar, plus whoever's coming in. So that can be a little noisy for taking an assessment. Before or after school is definitely a better option. In order to stay after, students should arrange it in advance. We do try to limit how many students stay after school with us. If 20 kids come in and they all want our help on something, we really can't help anybody. So if we have 10 kids who are making up an assessment and 5 kids who want help, that's doable. So they do need to make an appointment before they come before or after school. In a typical class, when your student comes into the room, they're going to pick up the handouts on the table in the back of the room. They'll sit down, scan into their seat, which is part of the COVID protocol, and begin working on their warm-up. Once the bell rings, we walk around checking off the homework and taking attendance. Housekeeping comes next, and that's my fancy way of saying announcements. Then we update the table of contents in our binders, and we put the papers away. We do collect and grade binders every test day. And if your child is updating their table of contents and putting the papers away at the start of every class, like we asked them to, there shouldn't be any need to organize the binder or do anything in preparation for turning that in. Once we've updated the table of contents, the lesson occurs. That's usually about 20 minutes. And then the rest of class is for classwork. Students can choose to work independently, in pairs, or in small groups. It's up to them. And we're circulating around the room, answering questions, looking over their shoulders, making sure that they're on track and that they're able to solve the problems correctly. So Schoology. Schoology is organized by a unit folder for geometry. Okay, so Unit 1 is what you can see right now. The very first folder is called Content Information. That's a folder that's required school-wide. It's got things like the syllabus, supply list, our contact information, that sort of thing. The second folder I'm calling the Parent Resource Center. We've started making some videos like how can I keep track of whether or not my student's turning in homework, and how can I navigate Schoology, and how do I help my child with their binder. Those sorts of things are going in the Parent Resource Center. If you come up with a topic you'd like to see us either do a handout or a video about, please shoot us an email. Then you'll see the Unit 1 folder. And within the Unit 1 folder, you first have the assignment sheet, and then each day of the unit has its own folder. Within each day, you'll see the warm-up, the notes with a video, blank notes, and filled-in notes all in one page, the classwork, including answer keys, and any choice assignments. Sometimes we put out 2 assignments and tell students they have to complete one, and the second one is extra credit. And then the homework. All of that is within the single days folder. The unit assignment sheet is always the first item in every folder, and that'll give you the quiz dates, the test dates, the topics we're covering each day, what the homework is each night. That is a super important piece of paper. We copy it on colored paper and give your child a physical copy in addition to posting it on Schoology for you. We will sometimes be using Desmos, Quizzes, and MathSpace in this class. Quizzes is the only one of those 3 that require parental consent. I will shortly be following up with anyone who has not completed that form. Our syllabus is in the course information folder on Schoology. It's fairly boring reading, but help yourself. The key thing out of the syllabus to talk about is that we are using a modified standards-based grading for geometry this year. All right, so what is modified standards-based grading? There is a whole video about this in the parent resource folder on Schoology if you want a little more detail than what's right here. We're sticking with our quarters, okay? And each quarter is going to break down 5% homework, 5% classwork, and 90% tests. All right, if it was pure standards-based grading, we would only have tests and SIS. But after COVID and distance learning, we felt it was really important to work with kids on work habits and on practice and drawing the direct connection between their practice and work habits and how they score on tests and quizzes. So we are counting homework and classwork as 5% each. There will only be 1 homework grade in SIS for the entire unit. All right, if you want to see how your child's doing day by day in terms of completing their homework, you need to look in Schoology. There's a whole video on that in the Parent Resource Center. Classwork will only get 1 grade at the end of the unit, okay? And that will come from the binder. When we grade the binder, that lets us make sure they're completing their warm-ups, completing their notes, completing their classwork. We pick up any extra credit at that time. Now, you'll see that tests are not going, quizzes, are not going into SIS. Quizzes are considered purely formative, and we are entering those scores into Schoology. So you can see how your child's doing partway through the unit. And we can see what your child needs help with partway through the unit. Tests are going into Schoology, and they will be broken down by topic. So for Unit 1, there are 5 topics. We have the language of geometry, distance, midpoint, segments, and angles. 5 topics total. That means we're entering 5 test grades when we take the Unit 1 test. First quarter, each topic is going to be roughly 10% of the quarter grade. But second quarter, I believe each topic is closer to 6%. So it's going to vary from quarter to quarter as to how much each topic counts as the quarter grade, but it will never go over 10%. Why are we doing this? Well, we want to identify the specific topic a student is struggling with. When all you see is the Unit 1 test grade, which of those 5 topics was the problem? Was it across the board? Was it only distance and angles? By breaking the test down by topic, we can provide targeted intervention. We can provide a schedule for come at this time for help with angles, come at this time for help with segments. It also allows your child to only retake the topics they struggled with. They don't have to retake all of Unit 1. Only those topics they struggled on are eligible for retakes. So we're hoping that this allows them to use their time wisely, to focus on what they really need help with. It allows us to say, okay, you 3 come sit in the back here with me and let me work with you on this specific topic. And we're really hoping that overall it provides more information both for us, for your child, and for you on where they're excelling and where they're struggling. Both Mrs. Vazquez and I prefer email. We are both horrible at the telephone. I've included both email addresses here. We like to hear from your child. If they have a question, we would like for them to email us. If they're going on vacation, we would like for them to email us about that. It's important in high school that they learn to advocate for themselves. After all, you can't go to college with them. And so please help them craft those professional emails to us. Miss Austin, I believe you made a mistake when you recorded my distance formula test grade. I earned a 93, not a 39%. Here's a picture of that test. And of course, I'll hop on that right away and correct my error. Or Miss Austin and Miss Vazquez, I'm really struggling with the distance formula. When can I come in for additional help? Working with them on how to craft those professional emails themselves is a life skill, and we would really prefer that they learn that this year. We do try to respond same day, Monday through Friday. Some days are crazy busy, and we're lucky to eat lunch. So it may take us up to 48 hours to respond during the work week. I will admit that I have a tendency to look at email over the weekend, and I'm working really hard on work-life balance this year. So I'm really trying not to check my email multiple times. I'm trying to step back and spend weekends with family, and of course doing all those wonderful chores that pile up for the weekend. But really trying to work on that. So if I get back to you over the weekend, you know I'm failing on my personal goal. If I don't get back to you on the weekend, you can expect a reply come Monday. Thank you so much. As always, whenever you have any questions, any concerns, please don't hesitate to email both of us. And just get in that habit right now, because when Mrs. Vazquez returns, whichever one of us gets to your email first will respond. We are interchangeable people as far as geometry is concerned, and we're looking forward to a great year with your child. Thank you.